Now, while we were talking to Debbie and Len, Social Development Minister and Kelston MP Carmel Sepuloni came out to join the conversation. Ms Sepuloni says she's already spoken to Housing Minister Phil Twyford about complaints around Compass, and Len and Debbie are not the only people to raise concerns with her about the provider. I took the opportunity to ask the Minister about the Privacy Commissioner's scathing report into MSD2. Now, that's the one that found some ministry investigations into alleged benefit fraud had been intrusive, excessive and even illegal. But first, the issue of social housing managers, Compass. Do you have concerns?
Oh, look, I think that the concerns that have been raised are concerns that need to be listened to. There's concerns from the Residents Association as well. I was at a meeting with them on Saturday morning.
About these residences?
With regards to the residences, and so, that's stuff to work through. I've already contacted our Minister of Housing, Phil Twyford, on this. He's agreed that actually that these concerns need to be listened to and that MHUD should be involved in those conversations. So as a local MP, that's something that I'm already actively involved in.
What concerns did the Residents Association raise?
A range of different things, and so that's probably a question that you should put to them. But for now, it's about having constructive conversations to make sure that we all are aware of the facts, because I think that's the other thing as well, and to find a way moving forward, because, we need the accommodation. We need to make sure that it is suitable, that it is appropriate, and that if there are tenants' concerns, that they are addressed.
How appropriate is it for a social housing provider to ask tenants to effectively sign a gag order in order to get their grievances heard at mediation?
Look, that was an issue that was raised with me just today, and so that's something that I said I'd look into.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's definitely something I'll be looking into.
And how will you approach Compass? What do you plan to do?
Oh, look, I've already talked to the residents that have the concerns, and so we're going to work together to make sure that we express our concerns very clearly in a letter and then find out what the appropriate process would be.
Minister, while I've got you, do you think that you have any obligation to apologise to beneficiaries who may have had their lives intruded on during MSD investigations?
Lisa, that's not what we're here to talk about today, and in fact I think you've already been given a heads up that I'm happy to comment on that after the reviews come back.
It's a really significant issue though. Do you not feel that those people deserve a response?
I've made it really clear that what might have been acceptable under the previous government is not acceptable under ours. And so there will be a review of the code, and we will look to make changes that are appropriate and in line with this government.
Do beneficiaries deserve an apology, those that were not found to have committed fraud but were, exposed to really intrusive practices?
Lisa, as I said, what was acceptable under the previous government is not acceptable under our government, and give me a chance to actually review those processes.
But it did happen on your watch as well. It might not have been your policy, but it continued under this government's watch.
It was a policy that was implemented under the previous government. Our role is to fix it, and I can assure you and the general public that that will be something that we do.
Do you think it's worth looking into compensation for stress scores?
Lisa, I'm not going to keep talking about this because that was not what we agreed to talk about here. Thank you.
What about the top two jobs in MSD? Should they resign, Minister, just before you head off?
Lisa, we won't be talking about that right now. Thank you. But see you later, Len. Thanks, Debbie.
Bye-bye. And that was Carmel Sepuloni there. And we did ask Compass some questions about the issues raised by the tenants. They say that confidentiality agreements are standard as part of the mediation process and apply equally to all parties. Mediation is voluntary, they say, and that in this instance the parties have agreed to participate in mediation. They say that they're going with a private mediator because accessing the government mediation service can involve a long waiting period, and they say they entered into this process in good faith to resolve the matter as soon as possible. They also say that they are still accepting complaints from tenants via text and email, and that they're providing all tenants in New Zealand with free Wi-Fi in order that they can use that to contact them.